At the beginning of the story, we see our drama female lead Emma is seen studying in a classroom when a boy named Ling arrives and talks to her about going home. He also agrees to take her home with him. As they leave together, Emma looks at Ling and starts thinking that maybe she needs a boyfriend in her life. Impulsively, she confesses her feelings to him. However, Ling reacts angrily, calling her crazy and stating that he never liked her. He refuses to enter a relationship with her and storms off, leaving Emma humiliated. A few years later, Emma is shown coming from somewhere, and today happens to be her class reunion. She is rushing across the road when a car suddenly stops in front of her. The driver advises her to cross carefully, and she hears a familiar voice from inside the car, one that sounds like Ling's. However, she dismisses the thought, believing that Ling wouldn't be like that. Later, at the reunion dinner, her classmates chat and ask about Ling. Emma, avoiding the topic, claims she has no idea about him. Suddenly, Ling arrives, surprising everyone. He greets his old friends warmly and sits beside Emma. As the evening progresses, everyone enjoys dinner and drinks together. Emma then remembers her late-night shift at work and leaves early. One of her friends offers to drop her off, but she declines. As she walks away, Ling's driver offers her a ride, but she firmly refuses. At work, her boss announces a major project, promising to double the annual bonus for whoever secures it. Emma is determined to win because she needs the money to get her grandmother treated at a good hospital. When she asks about the company involved, her boss reassures her that the vice president is a close friend and will consider the proposal if she presents it well. The next day, Emma and her boss visit the company, where she is shocked to discover that Ling is the vice president. Her boss praises Ling, recalling their college friendship. Shortly after, her boss receives an urgent phone call and leaves Emma to handle the presentation alone. Though hesitant, she pushes through and explains the project. Ling listens attentively and is impressed, praising Emma's work. When her boss returns, Ling expresses his admiration for the company's potential and agrees to the deal. Emma's boss congratulates her, and she is overjoyed, hardly believing she won the project. He then advises her to go home and take care of her grandmother. As Emma waits outside, it starts raining heavily, and she gets stranded at Ling's company. Ling notices her standing there, and his assistant asks if he wants to help her. Ling approaches Emma and offers to drop her home, but she refuses. However, he threatens to cancel the project if she doesn't accept his help, making sure others hear him. Left with no choice, Emma gets into his car. During the ride, Ling asks about her job, and she replies indifferently, stating that she works only for financial reasons. He also inquires about her grandmother's health, and she hesitantly says she is fine. When they reach her supposed home, Emma quickly gets out, but Ling realizes she has lied about her address. Watching her secretly head toward another location, he wonders why she deceived him. Later, Emma is at home, eating cookies when she checks her phone and finds that Ling has added her on WeChat and sent her a message. This annoys her, and she becomes visibly upset. In anger, Emma hangs up. The next day, at her workplace, a girl named Leah approaches her and excitedly asks about Ling. She says, "I heard you met the vice president of our company. Is it true that he is very handsome?" Emma, uninterested, responds indifferently. Leah, thrilled, asks, "If I approach him, do you think he could become my boyfriend?" Emma casually replies, "You can try," making Leah very happy. Suddenly, Ling enters the office, surprising everyone, especially Leah, who is immediately drawn to him. Leah excitedly offers to take Ling to their boss, but Ling declines and firmly states, "I don't want to go with you. I'll go with Emma." Disappointed, Leah steps back, and Emma leads Ling to the boss. On the way, Ling stops Emma and confronts her, saying, "You told others about me. Did you see how your colleagues were trying to approach me? What should I make of this?" Emma simply smiles and does not respond. Later, during a meeting, Emma's boss praises Ling for his dedication and success at such a young age. He then invites Ling to a dinner on behalf of the company. Ling responds, "I won't go alone. The employees have contributed significantly to this project, so they should join as well." Emma tries to excuse herself, claiming she has important work, but Ling insists, saying, "You are the head of this project, so you must come along." Reluctantly, she agrees. After dinner, as everyone heads home, Emma's boss learns that Emma and Ling were classmates. She lies, saying, "We didn't interact much, so I never realized he was my classmate." Ling smoothly handles the situation, praising Emma and saying, "She is a dedicated employee, and your company is lucky to have her." Later, as Emma stands outside, Ling offers her a ride. He even suggests she visit his house, but Emma, frustrated, refuses, saying she has too much luggage. Ling calmly replies that she can put the luggage in the back and sit in the front seat. Annoyed, Emma snaps, "What are you trying to do? 5 years ago, you made me feel worthless, and now none of this matters. So stop all your efforts and leave me alone." Ling, unfazed, replies, "I only asked you to sit in the front, not to give a speech," and angrily starts driving to drop her home. As they arrive outside Emma's house, it starts pouring heavily. Without an umbrella, Emma walks in the rain. Ling tries to hand her his umbrella, but she refuses and says, "Stay away from me. I have no interest in you. Do you understand?" Annoyed, Ling replies, "I was just giving you an umbrella because it's raining heavily and you might catch a cold." Emma coldly tells him not to worry about her. Frustrated, Ling hands her the umbrella and leaves. The next day at work, some female employees gossip about Ling, but Emma stays focused on her tasks. Leah approaches her and excitedly says, "I saw Mr. Ling dropping you home yesterday. What's going on between you two? I also heard you were classmates. Is that why you won the project?" Emma dismisses her suspicions, saying, "My winning the project has nothing to do with Ling, so don't overthink it." Leah, still hopeful, asks, "So does that mean Ling is still single? I might have a chance." Emma replies, "I don't know, but he was in America for a while, so maybe he has a girlfriend. We lost contact 5 years ago." Leah confidently responds, "That's not true. He never posted anything about a girlfriend on social media, nor has he announced anything publicly." Emma shrugs and says, "If he hasn't announced it, he probably wants to keep his life private. We shouldn't interfere." Leah disagrees, saying, "If he had a girlfriend, he would wear a ring, but he doesn't. That means he's single, and I still have a chance." Just then, their boss arrives and announces that the new project is about to begin. "We have finalized the site and location. Now, everyone must focus on their respective tasks. Start packing because we don't have much time." Emma reassures herself that she shouldn't stress. Ling is here only for the project. Meanwhile, the scene shifts to Ling, who is sitting with his friends. They ask him about Emma, curious about how they met. Ling explains, "My company has started a new project, and Emma's company is collaborating with us. She is the project manager." One of his friends smirks and asks, "Tell us the truth, did you and Emma know each other in school?" Another friend interrupts, saying, "There's no way there's anything between them." Ling remains silent, deep in thought. Ling had once cheated on Emma, using her as a shield to keep his real girlfriend away. Eventually, the entire school found out that Ling was actually Leah's boyfriend. However, in the end, Ling discovered that Emma had become completely indifferent toward him. The scene shifts to Emma lying on her bed, recalling Leah's words. Her mind drifts back to her school days when she first met Ling. There was a school function where everyone needed a dance partner. Emma's friend forcefully took her to the party, determined to find a boy for her. As soon as Emma stepped inside, she accidentally collided with the dancing crowd and was about to fall when a boy caught her. It was Ling. She apologized, but before she could say anything further, Ling's girlfriend appeared. To avoid her, Ling quickly grabbed Emma's hand and danced with her in front of everyone. After the dance, he casually handed his coat to a man, ignoring an incoming voice message from his girlfriend. Later, he offered to drop Emma home, where she insisted on returning his coat. He casually handed his coat to a man, ignoring an incoming voice message from his girlfriend. Later, he offered to drop Emma home, where she insisted on returning his coat. Ling asked if she knew him, to which she responded that everyone in school knew him because he was so popular. As she tried to give back his coat, Ling told her to keep it and return it some other day. He then asked for her number to add her on WeChat. The next day, at school, Emma was sitting with her friend when a girl named Amy approached her, wanting to be friends because she believed Emma was Ling's girlfriend. Shocked, Emma denied it, But just then, Ling arrived. Amy told him she was befriending his girlfriend, making Ling visibly uncomfortable. Later, Amy suggested they all go out for dinner, and in the next scene, Ling's friends acted strangely around Emma. During a game of Truth or Dare, they asked Emma several uncomfortable questions, making Ling feel embarrassed. Meanwhile, Ling discovered that Amy was leaving the country, which deeply disturbed him. Soon, the story returns to the moment shown earlier when Ling was dropping Emma home. She assumed that since Amy was leaving, Ling might finally be ready for a relationship. Mustering her courage, she proposed to him, but he rejected her, shattering her heart and her dreams. Waking up from her thoughts, Emma resolved to move forward with her life, just as Ling had. At that moment, she received a message from Leah, asking how long she would take to reach work. Emma replied that she would be there soon. In the next scene, Emma is seen checking into a hotel. After settling in, she calls her grandmother to check if she is taking her medicines, but her grandmother does not recognize her. Alarmed, Emma anxiously questions the nurse, who explains that such memory issues are common at her age and advises her not to stress. Emma, holding back tears, thanks the nurse for her help. Overwhelmed with sadness, she walks away and accidentally bumps into Ling. Seeing her distressed, Ling asks what happened, but Emma pushes him away, saying it is none of his concern. She reminds him that she still has the umbrella he gave her, urging him to take it back. The next day, Emma is at work, distributing room keys to her team members and instructing them to keep them safe, as replacements wouldn't be provided. She assures them that she recognizes their hard work and promises to treat them to a meal one day. Leah jokingly asks if Emma is earning more money these days, to which Emma simply smiles and walks away. Later, Emma struggles to carry food for her colleagues when a man steps in to help. She thanks him and insists she will return the favor someday. Meanwhile, Ling notices this encounter from a distance and, back in his office, instructs his assistant to gather information on the man. After reviewing the details, Ling mutters in disbelief, wondering how Emma could possibly fall for an ordinary man. In another scene, Emma is at home when she receives a WeChat message from Ling, asking if she deleted all their old photos. She replies that she had to delete them due to limited storage. The next day, Emma sits with Leah, drinking coffee. When Ling arrives, Leah excitedly invites him to join them for lunch. Sitting beside her, she eagerly tries to make a good impression, asking about his favorite coffee and offering to assist him with project reports. However, Ling dismisses her offer, stating that Emma, the project manager, is available to him at all times. Emma, though caught off guard, confirms this, leaving Leah hurt and disappointed. Afterward, Emma leaves, and Ling follows her. She hands him back his umbrella, but Ling refuses to take it. Emma looks at Ling and says, "I know what you want because you did the same thing to me back in school." She then leaves in anger, while Ling stands there regretting all the things he had done. Meanwhile, Leah witnesses the entire exchange and, feeling frustrated, blames Emma for her inability to impress Ling. In her mind, she vows not to let Emma get away with this. In the next scene, Leah deliberately neglects her work, causing delays in the project. When confronted about it, she shifts the blame onto Emma, saying, "You clearly told me that you would be guiding this project, so if it's not progressing, don't blame me." Emma, taken aback, retorts, "I never said that. Don't lie to me." Leah smirks and challenges her, "If you have proof, show it to me." Emma, unwilling to engage further, says, "I don't need proof to know the truth," to which Leah dismissively replies, "Don't waste my time. Mind your own business." This entire situation leaves Emma deeply disturbed, unsure of what to do. After much thought, she decides to ask Ling for help. When she approaches him and explains everything, Ling reacts angrily. Hurt, Emma realizes she had been foolish to expect his support and walks away, feeling even more distressed about the project. In the next scene, Emma is seen attending a crucial meeting with her team. Suddenly, Ling arrives. The boss announces that they are considering withdrawing the project. But Ling calmly sits down and reassures them, "There's no need to stress. I understand the mistakes that have been made, but we should have anticipated these issues earlier. If we ensure this doesn't happen again, we can still move forward with the project." However, Leah seizes the moment and suggests that Emma should be removed from her position as manager. Ling firmly responds, "This was a minor mistake. As a team member, instead of trying to turn me against her, you should be supporting her." He then turns to Emma and instructs, "You just need to submit a formal letter. I will handle the rest of the compensation." And Emma, relieved and overjoyed, feels grateful that Ling stood by her and didn't let the project slip from her hands. Leah, on the other hand, looks frustrated and defeated. Shortly after, Emma receives a call from her friend, inviting her to dinner that evening. Feeling much lighter after the meeting, she agrees without hesitation. Later that night, Emma is seen enjoying dinner with her friend, while Ling sits with his old school friends at a different restaurant. Just then, Nancy, who has returned from abroad, enters and excitedly greets Ling. She has brought gifts for everyone, handing each person a tie. In Korean culture, a tie symbolizes a desire to keep someone close to the heart. Ling, visibly uncomfortable, politely returns the gift to Nancy. Undeterred, she tells him that she has broken up with her foreign boyfriend and plans to stay in the country to focus on her career. However, it is clear that her real reason for returning is Ling. She quickly notices that Ling is distracted, constantly checking his phone and sending WeChat messages to Emma, who has yet to see them. Seeing his anxious demeanor, Amy tries to engage him in conversation. But he remains preoccupied. After a while, she casually mentions that a major exhibition is happening soon in the country. Amy wants Ling to accompany her to the upcoming exhibition, and Ling reluctantly agrees. Shortly after, he excuses himself, saying he needs to use the bathroom. Meanwhile, in the same restaurant, Emma sits at a nearby table with her friend, having had too much to drink. In her drunken state, she asks her friend whether she will ever have a relationship with Ling in the future. Laughing bitterly, she takes another sip and exclaims, "Never. He cheated on me. I will never want to be with him again." Ling, overhearing this, realizes just how much Emma hates him. As Emma's friend helps her out of the restaurant, Amy calls out to Ling, asking him why he's standing there. The moment Ling turns back, Emma has already left. Ling quickly tells his friends that he has urgent business and steps outside. Outside the restaurant, Emma's friend momentarily leaves her to hail a taxi. Drunk and unsteady, Emma sways dangerously, and Ling rushes to catch her. Seeing her state, Ling tells his friend, "You go home. I'll drop her off at her house." The next morning, Emma wakes up to find her friend by her side. She thanks her for bringing her home, but her friend surprises her by revealing, "I didn't bring you home. Ling did. You should thank him. He even ordered hangover soup for you." Emma feels a rush of emotions and messages Ling to thank him. Ling replies by suggesting she treat him to a meal in return. In the next scene, Emma is preparing to treat Milan to dinner when a company colleague, who has feelings for her, approaches and confesses. Emma firmly rejects him, saying she cannot date him. Ling witnesses this and, feeling possessive, pulls Emma away, entering the elevator with her. Later, during their dinner, Emma tries to leave and pay the bill, only to learn that Ling has already paid for it. Frustrated, she returns his money. That night, Ling drinks with a friend, unable to stop thinking about Emma. His friend teases him, saying, "I think you've fallen in love with Emma." Ling, puzzled, responds, "I don't know what's happening to me." The next day, Emma is at work when her boss asks her to prepare a presentation. She explains that she is currently maintaining records in an Excel sheet and promises to get to it soon. Her boss remarks, "I think my company is benefiting a lot from your school connection with Ling." Emma firmly denies any special connection and insists that Ling is simply dedicated to his work. Later, she visits Ling's office to deliver a file and finds him suffering from severe stomach pain. Concerned, she quickly gives him medicine. Ling asks her to call his driver, but when she realizes the driver isn't available, she insists on taking him home herself for safety. At Ling's home, he mischievously takes advantage of the situation, asking her to help him change. "You're not leaving until I finish my shower," he teases, claiming he might slip. He then instructs her to find his nightwear. When Emma returns with his clothes, she is shocked to see him without anything on. Embarrassed, Ling smirks, saying, "You were with me before, weren't you?" Emma coldly replies, "We were always busy with work. We never had time to meet, so we broke up." After his shower, Emma prepares to leave but struggles to find a taxi. She considers staying in a nearby hotel, but Ling offers her a place at his house. She refuses, saying, if your girlfriend or friends find out, it could lead to misunderstandings. Ling scoffs, what are you talking about? I have no girlfriend or friends. I'm still single. However, Emma recalls a past moment where Ling had told Emma was traveling to America to meet her. Doubts creep into her mind. Ling then drops Emma off at her home and secretly takes a picture of them together, sending it to someone. The next day, a furious woman storms into Emma's office, accusing her of cheating on her son. The confrontation turns violent, and Emma is physically attacked. Just as things escalate, Ling arrives and protects her, forcefully removing the woman from the premises. Later, he applies medicine to Emma's wounds and assures her, I trust you. You could never do such a thing. Emma, touched, responds, yes, I told you. Besides, my company colleagues are very supportive. Ling then shows her a shocking photo, the very picture he had taken of them together, now posted online by her colleagues. Emma is in disbelief. Ling reassures her, don't worry. I will find the person responsible for this. Their eyes meet, and a moment of tension lingers between them. Just as something seems about to happen, Ling's phone rings. Emma is calling. Emma quickly pulls away, but Ling grabs her hand, making her stay. Nancy, on the call, says she has seen a video falsely accusing Emma. Ling firmly tells her, this has nothing to do with you. I'll handle it. Amy insists, but she's my classmate. I want to help her. Ling coldly refuses, and Emma is visibly displeased. Turning back to Emma, Ling finally asks, tell me the truth. That woman, was she your ex-boyfriend's mother? Emma gets angry when someone asks about her relationship with her ex-boyfriend and says, I've told you 1,000 times not to interfere in my personal life under the pretext of helping me. Why don't you listen? Ling calms her down, assuring her, don't worry. If that woman tries anything again, we'll call the police. Emma then leaves, and moments later, Nancy approaches Ling from behind, placing a hand on his shoulder. Thinking it's Emma, Ling turns, only to find Nancy standing there. He is visibly displeased. Nancy, sensing his lack of interest, expresses her feelings, saying, you like Emma, don't you? You want to be in a relationship with her. This deeply hurts Nancy, and she walks away. The next day, Emma wakes up to a call from her boss, who apologizes for not standing by her side. He explains that he had been hospitalized and regrets not supporting her. Emma reassures him, don't worry, I'll handle this myself and clear my image. Later, she visits her ex-boyfriend at the hospital and is shocked to learn that he was unaware of his mother's visit to her workplace. Emma confronts him, asking, did I ever try to harm you? Did I cause you to end up in this condition? Her ex-boyfriend admits, I told my mother that I am responsible for everything. You have no role in this. Relieved but frustrated, Emma warns his mother, if you ever try to ruin my life again, I'll call the police. And leaves. Eventually, his mother posts an apology video online, clearing Emma's reputation. Later, Emma receives a message from her boyfriend, who warns her that someone in her company informed his mother. Suspicious, Emma wonders who could hate her so much. Meanwhile, Ling learns about the apology video and ensures it gets deleted through his assistant. When Emma later thanks her boss for the deletion, he surprises her by revealing, it wasn't me, it was Ling. Shocked, Emma can't believe why Ling helped her so much. On her way back, Emma hears Leah spreading false rumors about her. Enraged, she slaps Leah and warns her never to speak ill of her again. That evening, Emma goes to dinner with a friend, where she unexpectedly encounters her boss. When he invites them to a private dining room, they agree, only to find Nancy there. The atmosphere turns awkward. Nancy greets Emma warmly, complimenting her on how beautiful she has become, to which Emma simply says, thank you. Ling orders food for everyone, remembering Emma's preferences. After dinner, Ling asks Emma's boss to take Nancy with him, promising to follow later. As Emma and her friend leave, Ling suddenly stops her, lifts her into his arms, and tells her friend to book a taxi, saying he'll pay. Emma protests, demanding to be put down. Ling carries her to a parking area and unexpectedly kisses her forcefully. Shocked and furious, Emma pushes him away and yells, "I never expected this from you. I appreciate your help, but this is wrong." Overcome with anger, she storms off. Just then, Nancy arrives in her car and offers Ling a ride. As she drives away, she sternly warns him, "Don't follow me." In the next scene, Emma is in her hotel room, where Leah informs her that she is packing everything and leaving for a few days to take a holiday. As Emma drinks water, Leah watches her closely, and soon, Emma starts feeling intoxicated. Leah checks on her, ensuring she has lost consciousness, then calls someone and instructs him to come quickly before leaving Emma alone. In her dazed state, Emma manages to call an unknown number for help and gives her address. Shortly after, a man arrives and begins forcing himself on her. Emma, though intoxicated, struggles and tries to escape, but her condition weakens her. Just then, Ling arrives, saving her from the attacker. He orders his assistant to deal with the man before lifting Emma in his arms and carrying her away. In her intoxicated state, Emma begins kissing Ling. Though he initially resists, she doesn't stop, and intimate moments unfold between them. The next morning, Emma regains consciousness, quietly leaves, and disappears before Ling wakes up. When Ling realizes she is gone, he checks for her, but she is nowhere to be found. Meanwhile, Emma resumes her work and ignores Ling's messages. Frustrated, Ling threatens that if she doesn't respond, he will send the police to check on her. This forces Emma to reply, informing him that she has safely reached home and advising him to rest as well. Later, Amy is seen sitting with Ling's mother when Ling arrives. Aware of Nancy's intentions, he preempts the conversation by telling his mother that if the topic is about Amy or marriage, he is not interested. His mother, however, suggests that if he isn't interested in Nancy, he should consider meeting another girl she has chosen for him. Reluctantly, Ling agrees, and his mother reassures Amy that she will ensure their marriage happens. Meanwhile, Emma visits the hospital to check on her grandmother. The nurse informs her that her grandmother's condition has worsened, as she no longer recognizes people and often causes trouble. Emma transfers some money for her grandmother's care, but the nurse internally scoffs at the amount, believing it to be too little for the work she does. She then suggests that Emma should consider placing her grandmother in an old-age home and focusing on getting married. Emma, angered by this suggestion, reminds the nurse that she is only there to take care of her grandmother and has no right to interfere in her personal life. The nurse backs down, pretending to comply. However, when Emma leaves, she cruelly beats her grandmother, blaming her for Emma's defiant attitude. As Emma exits the hospital, some elderly residents stop her, revealing that the nurse mistreats her grandmother, leaving marks on her body. Shocked and upset, Emma questions how this could happen despite her paying for proper care. She takes her grandmother to the doctor, who confirms that her condition has worsened due to negligence. The doctor explains that cases like this are common, where nurses mistreat elderly patients by beating them or drugging them with sleeping pills. Horrified, Emma realizes the truth and confronts the nurse, who is eating at the time. She demands to know what the nurse has been doing to her grandmother. As Emma checks the table, she finds sleeping pills, confirming her suspicions. When she confronts the nurse with the evidence, the nurse initially denies everything. However, when pressed further, she finally confesses, admitting that she sedated Emma's grandmother because she was too much trouble. Furious, Emma records the confession on her phone and threatens to call the police. The nurse, enraged, lunges at her, but just then, Ling arrives and shields Emma from the attack, taking the blow himself. Concerned, he asks Emma if she is okay, to which she nods, revealing that she has already called the police. Moments later, the police arrive and arrest the nurse, putting an end to her abuse. After the incident, the nurse's son approaches Emma, offering her money as compensation in exchange for keeping quiet. However, Emma firmly rejects the offer. Ling assures Emma that she is now safe and that if anyone tries to harm her, he will always be there to protect her. Emma refuses his help, stating that she will not suppress the truth. Later, Ling experiences pain in his shoulder, and Emma applies medicine, thanking him for protecting her. In this intimate moment, Ling starts kissing her and draws close, but Emma stops him, saying she needs to sleep. The next day, Emma goes to the hospital to pick up her grandmother, and Ling offers to accompany her. At the hospital, her grandmother regains consciousness, recognizes Emma, and instantly likes Ling. While checking the hospital bill, Emma discovers that Ling has already paid for everything. Just then, Ling receives a call from his mother, informing him that she has arranged a blind date for him. Initially, Ling refuses, but Emma overhears the conversation and becomes angry, believing Ling will never change. She tells him she will take care of her grandmother herself and asks him to leave. Later, Ling arrives at the blind date venue, only to find out that his date is Nancy. Frustrated, he tells her again that he sees her as a sister and that he has feelings for someone else. Enraged, Amy informs Emma about this. Ling, realizing his mistake, rushes to Emma, but she refuses to go with him, saying she has already arranged transportation for her grandmother. Disheartened, Ling drowns his sorrows in alcohol with his friends, who advise him that he has put Emma through a lot and must now endure her anger. The next day, Emma's boss announces that, to ease work stress, everyone will go on a trip. However, Emma is shocked to learn that she has been assigned to travel with the boss. Realizing that Ling orchestrated the arrangement. Furious, she confronts him, demanding to know why he is constantly interfering in her life. Ling tries to explain that he only wants to ensure her safety after everything that has happened. Suddenly, Emma feels dizzy, and Ling catches her before she collapses. Later, he gives her medicine, reiterating that his actions are driven by concern for her well-being. The following day, as the employees prepare for the trip, Ling's assistant informs Emma that Ling has an important meeting and is going on a trip with his girlfriend to avoid a breakup. Emma, surprised yet indifferent, gives him permission to leave. As she stands alone after everyone departs, Ling unexpectedly appears and takes her with him. During the trip, the group plays games, including Truth or Dare. When asked about the blind date, Emma evades the question by excusing herself to the washroom. Ling follows her and confronts her about avoiding the topic. Emma accuses him of intentionally creating these situations. Ling takes her aside, but before their conversation progresses, Ling's friends and Amy interrupt them. Seeing Emma, Amy begins insulting her, but her brother intervenes, urging her to forget Ling and stop interfering in his life. Shocked that even her brother is against her, Amy is left speechless. Meanwhile, Emma rejoins her team but suddenly receives a call informing her that her grandmother's health has worsened. Panicked, she hurriedly bids farewell and leaves. Ling, sensing her distress, asks what happened. Upon learning about her grandmother's condition, he insists on accompanying her. At the hospital, Emma finds her friend taking care of her grandmother, relieved to see her recovering. However, when her grandmother requests something from the kitchen, Emma initially refuses but eventually gives in. Left alone with Ling, the grandmother shares Emma's struggles, recounting how she lost her parents at a young age and endured hardships alone. She then makes Ling promise that he will always take care of Emma. The next day, Emma enters Ling's office and sees Amy sitting there. Amy attempts to humiliate her, but Emma ignores her. However, when Amy speaks ill of Emma's grandmother, it triggers a severe reaction, causing her to suffer a heart attack. When Emma and Ling return, they are devastated to find her grandmother unresponsive. The doctor confirms that she has passed away, holding Amy responsible for her death. In the end, Emma exposes Nancy's true nature, revealing everything to those around them. Ling finally acknowledges his mistakes and sincerely apologizes to Emma. Realizing his deep love for her, he proposes marriage. Overcoming their struggles and misunderstandings, Emma accepts, and their story concludes on a happy note. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe my channel.